we converted everybody to basically marketing, and we just marketed the hell out of everything. We did anything that we could do with marketing. We put a ton of content on our website. We got lucky because we worked our butt off and our website just exploded.
So yeah, tell me a little bit about your practice. I saw that you started your practice, I think 9 years ago, almost 10 years
Well,
ago.
I started it technically in 2008. So I was a prosecutor for 2 years at the Broward State Attorney's Office, which is Fort Lauderdale, Florida, South Florida. And I started in 2008. So I've had the firm in one iteration or another for almost 20 years. And my old partner and I, we were together till about 2015. And then we decided to split in 2015. So now next year will officially be 10 years of the Rawson Law Firm. But I like to use the 2008 date since I've been doing this
Yeah.
for, a while.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. How many people do you have in the practice right now? I saw that it's growing.
So right now we have 7 attorneys. We have about 25 people or so, which is quite large for criminal defense. Criminal defense
Yeah.
just be the kind of solo lawyer
Mhm.
with their trusty sidekick. So yeah, we've grown quite a bit.
That's great. Absolutely. And then your cases are mostly in Florida too, or do you?
Mostly, so it depends. For state court things, DUI, robbery, murder, burglary, sex crimes, it's mostly South Florida, so anywhere really from Miami to Palm Beach. And then for our federal practice, our white collar and healthcare fraud cases, we do those nationwide. We have a few in Nashville, a few in New York, obviously South Florida. So we've gone quite a bit of, all across the country.
What are the current trends in the market that you have been noticing recently? What are what winds are blowing, especially in the criminal defense?
Well, I mean, we've noticed a lot, of hiring or more progressive prosecutors getting elected. But for us, it hasn't been, that complete 180 that it's been in some other places, maybe like Chicago or New York. So there's been a lot more diversion programs. And, especially for DUI in South Florida, about 2 years ago, Broward County did not have a DUI diversion program. Now they do. Miami's had one for about 10 years, and Palm Beach has had one for maybe 7 or 8 years. And so we've seen that. And what we've really tried to do, a lot of people that handle DUIs just complain and go, oh, well, there's no money to be made in DUI defense anymore. And we don't think that way at all. It's just, there's more opportunities for us to provide service and value to our clients, and we have to communicate that value to them. So we get hired on tons of DUIs, and not every DUI is eligible for diversion. I'd say maybe 50% or so. So it's just, and it really hasn't hurt us the way I think it's hurt other lawyers, because they don't really think the way that we do from a value perspective. So that's one trend, and not just with DUI, but just with diversion as a whole.
Yeah, yeah. And I love that what you said, that like provide value, like to the community. And I see that you are doing that amazingly with like all the social channels. Most of the criminal defense lawyers, they're probably not using social channels like social media the way you're using. So I'm sure that that's an advantage.
Yeah, it has. That's been great for us. We do a lot on YouTube. We host podcasts. The background right now is for our Success in South Florida podcast, where we have successful people in South Florida. We just have conversations, right? And it's not industry specific. It's, we do have some lawyers on the show, but it's not industry specific. And yeah, for us, it's really about making connections with people.
Yeah.
And building relationships. It's not about the sale or the one-time transaction. It's really about just relationships and making our community better. And then we found that when you have those intentions, just business naturally flows more.
What is happening in the markets right now that have become like more challenge over the years or easier over the years?
Well, in 2021, during the Great Resignation, that period was tough because we also grew tremendously. So to rewind a little bit, in 2019, we had 3.5 people on the team. In 2020, just before COVID, we grew to 6. And then in 2021, we started the year at 6 and we finished the year at 13 people. And then 2022, we started the year at 13 and we finished at 20. So in a 2-year period, to go from 6 to 20 for us, especially without, I mean, now I think I know a good amount of business and I've learned a lot because we go to masterminds and pay for coaching. But we didn't know what the hell we were doing. And it was also, I think it was also the worst time to have massive growth because we needed people and it was crazy out there. And we also didn't have the most systems and policies and procedures because we just grew so fast. And it was all about, well, kind of that hustle market sell mentality. So, and then do great work. Um, so that was a bit of a struggle. And I've noticed maybe the last 6 to 12 months, the job market, I think, is correcting where yes, inflation has been so bad and the salaries, right? And we have to obviously raise our prices and make sure that we have healthy profit margins as a business. But from a talent pool, I think there has been a correction. We seem to be whether it's us attracting or just a combination of just attracting better candidates and having better candidates out there. That's really turned, I think it's turned a corner because
Oh,
2021,
wow.
2022, and most of 2023 were pretty rough with that.
Okay. What would you say helped you grow so much this last few years? Is there like one or two like big factors or?
I mean, yeah, there's a few. So during COVID, we had a decision to make. We had grown to 6 people. I had 3 of our 6 were with us less than 90 days. And so the first few weeks, the easy thing would have been just to cut it, cut those 3 and right, kind of get scared and shrink. And, I didn't want to do that. I liked everybody and I thought there was going to be an opportunity in this. And we took on 13 interns, I think, that summer. And we basically converted, we didn't have court for a few months. So we converted everybody to basically marketing and we just marketed the hell out of everything. We just did anything, we did anything that we could do with marketing. We put a ton of content on our website. Um,
Mhm.
Lucky, but we got lucky because we worked our butt off and our website just exploded. And I mean, we had 2 lawyers and we had some good revenue before where we were like a top 10 player in the market. But then we pretty much grew to be number one, within 6 months. And yeah, and so it was, a lot of people just took it off and used it as an extended vacation. I mean, I would have loved to have bought an RV and drove around the country, but we just put our head down and we grinded really hard. And I
Yeah.
think that was the singular biggest factor. I mean, there's a lot of sub parts of that we
Mhm.
did, but it was just, we just grinded and marketed and we were unafraid to do anything and unafraid
Yeah.
to fail because it
Wow.
felt like our backs were against the wall. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So you saw that as an advantage and just put all your hopes in there and it works. And that's the thing too, like when you have a good mindset, and I'm sure you did, and you just trust the process, because I'm sure that it wasn't like amazing in the first like 3, 4 months, but then like
Mhm.
if you're consistent with it, then you start seeing results.
Yeah, and I was lucky because I had, up until prior to that point, I was in masterminds and I had developed mentors, and those are the people who I leaned on and relied on for advice. And some of the things that I wanted to do were ridiculously stupid. And as I brought that to certain mastermind groups and mentors, they told me that and they were unafraid to tell me that. And then I was like, okay, you guys are right, and let me focus on this instead. And so it was really good to have, those masterminds and mentors and that sounding board.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that's so important too. How is it is for you to attract and retain high quality team members, especially in marketing and sales?
Well, marketing has been tough, but I mean, I'll just say globally from everything perspective, I think it starts with culture. And so we've learned over the years that, we want to be polarizing, just like in marketing, you want to, attract and repel, right? So for us, we try to attract the clients that will be great with us and we try to repel the ones that won't be great with us. And it's the same with team members. So we're just very open and honest about who we are. We are blue collar work ethic and a white collar skill and profession. We tend to be hard charging and but we're very passionate about what we do. So in some positions, for example, like lawyers, you have to have a passion for helping others through criminal defense. If you like or even love criminal law, that's not good enough. You have to have a true passion for helping others through criminal defense. Now, I don't need that in marketing, but in marketing, there tends to be, some more either the data-driven type or the very artistic creative type. And so for us, we kind of need a blend of both. And we need people who are creative, but also who work extremely hard. It's difficult because there's the creatives and then the data people in marketing. And
Mhm.
we really like creatives, but who work extremely hard and have that blue collar work ethic. You know, we're
Mhm.
not oh, we have ping pong tables and video games in the office. I mean, I would love that if I ran an agency, but I don't run an agency. I run a law office, and we do have, a marketing and an internal marketing team. So we're just very upfront with that we're here to dominate. We're here to be the best. So one
Mhm.
of the questions that I just ask people is, we're elite, and I'll tell people, and I don't meet people till like kind of the very end now, but I'll say to people, I'll say, well, give me an example, tell me a story about something you've done in your life that is truly elite.
Mhm.
Because in any position, I want people that are elite. I don't want people that just show up, clock in, clock out, and don't have a passion behind what we're doing. Marketing might not need a passion for criminal defense, but they need a passion for their craft. I mean, look, and some people, right? Again, you attract or repel. So for the right people, which is a very small portion, they're gonna love this place there because A players want to be challenged. A
Mhm.
players want to work hard. A players want to be around other A players, and B or C players, C is average, right? There's nothing
Mhm.
wrong with being, I mean, in our world, there, average is a bad word, but most people are average. And that's a C. And it's just in our world that doesn't fit. And that's okay. That doesn't mean anybody's a bad person. It just means they're not going to be good with us. So I think the first thing for us is to understand who we are and not be ashamed by that, and embrace who we are as people and as a company. And then make sure that during the interview process, we convey this to the person. Because the worst thing is, I don't want to hire somebody who's here for 3 months and miserable. That's not fair to them. It's not fair to us, and we waste money and time. So I think it's kind of like dating, right? The older you get with dating, it's like, okay, this is me. Who are you? Let's not play any games. Let's not pretend. Let's just see if we're compatible, right? Whereas you're younger, you have more time to kind of, fool around.
Yeah.
So, so that's really helped us, is just know who we are and be able to communicate that in the hiring
Mhm.
process. We do use behavioral assessments now, and that has helped a lot. We're a big fan of Culture Index. We've been using it for a few years, but we just got officially trained on it a few months ago. And, we have a coach for that who helps us, but we got trained in it. And I found that comparatively to like Myers-Briggs or DISC or some of the other, or even Colby, Culture Index is really good. And we really like it. And it's, from what they tell us, it's 91% validated. So we use it as a tool, as a behavior tool very early on in our process. And we also use it as a management tool, right? Because we know that certain people have different communication styles and have different learning styles, and you have to approach them differently when you're managing or training them as well. So it's helped on both ends of the aspect of the spectrum of, trying to help us attract the right people, and also
Mhm.
help us, manage, train, teach, motivate,
Yeah.
people. They want to be motivated in what we're doing.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. What about your competitors? What does your competitive landscape look like?
I mean, we have a few, so there's a few attorneys that have firms with maybe 3, 4, 5 lawyers in South Florida. I try not to worry about them so much. I don't really see them at the same conferences and masterminds and groups that I'm in. So, I can just assume that they're not as focused on, personal and professional development, but I don't know, you know. I know compared to some of the other firms, like, yes, money is a factor in our firm. You need to have healthy profit margins, not, gross is nice, right? But it's the profit margins that really sustain, make a business stable. The more that we grow, the more people that we can help, and the more that we can help our people grow personally and professionally as well. But for us, there is, we have a strict set of core values and a strict mission and vision of what we want from the firm. We've been on EOS now for this is our 4th year running the firm on the entrepreneur operating system. And so that's been we have our North Star for how we make decisions. And
Mhm.
For us, it's, money's probably the third most important thing. For
Yeah.
us, we're community and we're relationship builders.
Mhm.
That first, right? First and foremost, that's what we do. How we do it is through criminal defense. So a lot of times we'll take passion projects on, low bono, right? Or, we'll give discounts to certain clients. We'll make some exceptions if need be. It's not always for the bottom line. And there's a strict purpose behind why we want to grow, not just so that the owners or the shareholders can get rich, right? We truly want to help, make South Florida, and beyond a better place for our clients. So I don't know what our other legal competitors are doing because I'm not in their room, I'm not in their offices, I'm not part of their conversations. But a lot of it also is the way we treat our clients. And I do hear from our clients, and we have quite a few clients that want to fire other attorneys, namely our competitors, and hire us. And so I ask them why, and usually I hear that, she's a really great lawyer, but my case is too small for her. I don't feel like I'm getting the attention I deserve. And at my firm, you'll never hear a client say that.
Yeah.
Ever, ever. But also I think it's important to note that on a macro level, that was kind of more of a micro level. On a macro level, we look at our competitors as Amazon, as Google, Instacart, DoorDash, right? We live in a, satisfy me now world, right? And so when we're talking about our intake and our sales and our customer service, we're competing with, the speed of Amazon, right? How many times has Amazon got it wrong for you?
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time Amazon's got it wrong for me, right? It's always a great experience. And we want to have that level with even more of a Ritz-Carlton personal feel and touch, right? You don't have necessarily the personal feel and touch with Amazon, but they always deliver, right? They always get it right. So we want to have a combination of that consistency, but also with that Ritz-Carlton personal feel. When I go and stay at a Ritz, it's welcome back, Mr. Ross, and thank you so much for being a loyal member, right? Or whatever. And it just makes you feel good, right?
Yeah.
It makes you feel good to feel appreciated. Little
Mhm.
things like that. So on a macro scale, I think those are our competitors. Uh,
Mhm.
Obviously on a micro scale, consumers do have a choice to hire my firm or another firm. So,
Mhm.
yeah, but I think it's a two-prong, kind of issue. And
Yeah,
just
yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with that too. How do you currently spend your day? Because as a lawyer and a CEO and a father,
right.
how does it look like?
So, we have a few offices. So I kind of bounce around between the different offices and working from home, just depending on how I feel. I still, my wife and I split the duties. So I take the little one to school now, and my wife takes the big one to school because they're in different schools for now. Um, I don't have my own active caseload. And so, when I speak to clients, because I still am involved at times in, initial client meetings, and they'll say, well, Adam, are you going to be my lawyer? I want you to be my lawyer. And first of all, our firm, one of the other things that differentiates my firm from some of our so-called competitors is our lawyers are brilliant. We have the best lawyers. We attract the best. We don't cheap out. We have board certified lawyers. We have experts in their field. You're not going to meet with me and then hire and then have some, brand new, unskilled lawyer actually working the case. That's
Mhm.
never been something I've wanted to do. And
Mhm.
but I tell them, I say, look, what's best for the firm and our clients is that I don't have an active caseload where I'm the primary attorney on any case, because then that means by default that I wouldn't be able to help on other cases. I would have my 50, my 80 cases, whatever the number is, and that's it. And we do like emergency room doctors. We round on our cases every Wednesday and we talk about them all. And I'm available to, especially for our big cases, but to discuss case strategy on a vehicular homicide, on a DUI manslaughter, right? We truly work as a team. So we'll have multiple lawyers working on cases. And if I don't have any case that I'm the number one primary attorney on, then I can assist in any case at any time. So that helps. And then it saves me from having to go to court every morning, which gives me more time to spend with the marketing team, to worry about the business. I try not to even do some of the management. I found I'm not good at it, and we have people in the firm that are better at it than me. And so I like to, be more creative as well, do interviews like this, promote the firm, lunches, meetings, and just, discuss like our next business moves. Sometimes I'll go through a day and I'll go, oh, what did I do? And I was like, I just did like 20 things today, but I don't really remember any of them because I was bouncing around so much.
I do see that a lot too with like some attorneys that have a problem taking themselves out of the business, like the managing and the cases, and which, is kind of challenging because as a CEO and, owner, like you do need to care about the business itself. Like you need to care about like higher level stuff. And I see that you're doing an amazing job with that. And I'm sure that the masterminds also helped you with that too.
It helps. A lot of it's mindset. We in 2021 we hired 3 lawyers in 8 months, and the third lawyer was, I don't think we didn't need her right away, but a very talented lawyer came available, and I was like, well, this will help me get out of cases
Yeah.
and to continue to grow the firm. And then 2 months later, I had, I had about a 2, 3 month identity crisis. Like, okay, what am I going to do? Like my identity, my ego is a lawyer, right? That's what I know. But I got over that pretty quickly. It took a
Yeah.
few months, but I got over it, and it was definitely the right move.
Right, right. What would you say are the most important metrics for you, such as like new clients or, meeting with new prospects or,
Right.
talents like
And so the
team?
last 2 years, we've had a major focus on running on KPIs, because on data. And so we have a ton of scorecard metrics and then key performance indicators. We have a few key performance indicators and we have a ton of scorecard metrics that we track, but some of ours is just number of qualified leads, right? We always want to look at our conversion rate from, a strategy session. We do strategy sessions, not consultations, where we're going into legal strategy with clients and building that relationship, and you know the plan can always change, but I've always felt that by doing it that way and not just a mere consultation, you build a better relationship with the client based on, know, like, and trust.
Mhm.
So that's something. And so we always want to measure our conversion rate on the strategy sessions. That's big. Average case value is important for us. Um, we want to know, right? I mean, if you have, I don't know, just say 100 open cases at $10,000, well, that's a completely different firm that has completely different needs than if you have 100 open cases at an average case value of $3,000,
Mhm.
right? So we're always tracking that. That's a big one. And really just our our open to close ratio
Mm.
is very big from a production standpoint, because if I see that, every week we're opening 3 more cases than we're closing, well, then per quarter, 13 times 3 is 39. Then we know probably in 6 months, we're going to need it to hire another attorney. So, we're going to want to track that, right? And see, okay, well, last 3 months, it's been trending that way. It's going to take us a while to hire an attorney because we don't just grab anybody off the street. So we should start looking now, right? We're trending upwards, right? So that metric has been very powerful for us, our open to close ratio. And we have tons more, but those are the ones that I think are really important for us.
Okay. And what are your goals for the next 6 months? Because it seems like it's going really good.
Yeah.
I don't know with are you looking to grow or are you just looking to be stable and just charge a little more for what you're already doing so you don't have to get in, like more clients or
No, so for us, and this is where it goes back to the core values, the mission and the vision. We want to help as many people as we can in South Florida. And we truly believe that we're the best firm to help people. We have a major focus on mental health and substance abuse as well. And so since we believe that we're the best firm, I think we have a moral and ethical obligation to continue to grow and to dominate the market. So we want to dominate. We want nothing short of domination. So we have 9 offices right now. We're looking to expand in more detail in Miami. We want to expand even more than we already are in Palm Beach County, possibly, in a year or two, grow even further beyond that. But we truly want to dominate. I look, criminal law is a place where we see a lot of corners being cut by attorneys, and you're dealing with somebody's life, somebody's future, their freedom. And
right.
we've found that, an arrest or even a criminal conviction can affect 3 generations deep in a family. So when we are in court and we see lawyers cut corners all the time, we truly believe, not just me, but all of our lawyers, that we have a moral and ethical obligation to grow so we can help more people and do it our way. So we want nothing short of domination.
Okay. And what are the steps you're taking to get there?
Tons of things, tons
Yeah,
and tons
it's
of
not
things.
just one or
Yeah,
two.
I mean, obviously lots of marketing, but it's more than just marketing. It's,
Mhm.
taking care of our clients. And look, and I can say over the last 4 years, we've had many periods, of a few months at a time where we've said, hey, this quarter is not going to be focused on growth at all because our infrastructure is not ready. And the worst thing you can do is grow and then have the product, right, or the services tank. Right. And so for us, it's always been about slow and sustained growth. If I didn't care about the clients or the way that the way that our legal services are delivered, we'd be a larger firm by now. We'd be even
Mm.
larger. But, so it's a combination of growth and domination, but doing it the right way, which is hard. Anybody can pay money to an agency to start a high volume, low fee, low quality service, low customer service criminal defense law firm. Anybody can do that. It's a lot easier than people think. You just gotta, hire an agency and just market and
Mhm.
put money into marketing. That's it. And that's not my DNA. That's not, it's not what the firm stands on. So, we're looking into, there's a lot of solo criminal lawyers that want some help, that are sick of running the business aspect of it, that are actually really brilliant attorneys and could be even better attorneys if they didn't have to worry about running a business. So we've been reaching out and putting feelers out for people in other geographies that want to be a part of our team and that want to have, our team really handle everything. And so they can, quote unquote, just be the amazing lawyers that they are. So we're looking not just growth internally, but growth by acquisition as well.
Okay, that's so smart. Yeah, I love that. Um,
We pay
if
a
you,
lot of money for coaches and to learn.
I was
So
gonna say that, yeah.
I've invested tons of money in me and my leadership team's growth. So
Yeah. Which is so important. Most people forget about that. And yeah, I think it's so important. Me, like just like I came from Brazil. I was born and raised in Brazil. I moved to United States when I was 22 years old.
oh
And
wow.
I used to tell people like I didn't know any English. So I learned all my English in the last 10 years. Um, Still have a lot to improve. But anyway, so in Brazil, like growing up, like I've never met anybody successful ever, like ever. I started getting to know more successful people when I moved here. And then, I'm just curious, like, how are they getting successful and like, how are they getting there? Like, because I never seen that before. And
Mhm.
I didn't have it with me that I could be that person too. I could be successful. I could create my own path. And then I think that 90% of what helped me get where I am right now and like see the vision to like where I can even like grow more, for sure is mindsets, for sure is,
Right.
spending a lot of money with coaching too and, reading a ton and making connections. So I totally resonate with everything you're saying.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. I mean, we have a summer internship program and we have 10 interns this summer and we have programming. So it's not just they're hanging out,
Yeah.
developed this over the years. And one of our interns, she's a rising senior in high school and she's very smart and she's from Brazil and she came here and she didn't speak English as either. And within, I think, 5, 6 years, she's on the mock trial team, she's on the moot court team, she's on the debate team. And that was something that just really impressed me so much about her is that she just went all in to be better, at a very young age, right? And maybe she was, I don't know, 12 years old, right? And knew not she was in like the ESL classes. And
Yeah,
now
yeah,
she's doing, right? So to go from ESL to debate and mock trial and moot court and wanting to be a lawyer is amazing. So I respect her tons. She's been a great intern for us this summer. And just
yeah,
really anybody who has that growth mindset, but it has to be developed. They have to learn it.
yeah.
I'm right. I'm not the person that I was, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, and definitely not 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I would say that Brazilians are very hard workers. So yeah, like I think that also resonates with that too. What matters more than anything else for you right now?
Being able to design my day and what I'm doing to grow the firm around being a great dad and spending time with my kids and a great husband, and my family. So, and that's one of the things for me too, is not having to be beholden to a judge telling me that, I can't have an extra month to work on this DUI case for no reason, that I need to hurry it up now, right? Or I have
Mhm.
to be in court every day where I can, take my kids to school and spend time with them. Just being able to, I don't want to say the work-life balance, because a lot of people, I think that term has gotten a bad rep, but just being able to have a happy life that fulfills what I want to do. And there's a duality to it. I want to be, hard charging. I want to be successful in business, but I also want to be an amazing, successful parent and husband. So I
Yeah.
just think being able to, to have that duality is
Mhm.
something that people can create.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So hard. I tell them to all my coworkers too, and I'm like, enjoy while you don't have kids, you don't have family, because it does get hard.
Right. And
It's
my wife's an attorney. She's a prosecutor. So, we're both very busy, but we figured out, we make time.
yeah, yeah. You just got to do it. Yeah, you have no
Mhm.
other option. If you had a magic wand that you could wave and solve one thing right now, what would that one thing be?
Um, Developing more leaders from within the firm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
beautiful.
we've been working very hard to do that. But continuing just to develop more leaders within.
Yeah. What is screaming at you right now? Like, what is priority number one in the business? Would you say that is the same, like developing people,
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
and what have you tried before and what didn't work in terms of like growth and
Lots of things. I think, one of the things too is that when my old partner and I split, there was a lot of, and we're still close friends today, but there was a lot of fear. And, on one hand, I only had to worry about me financially, which is great. But on the other hand, my buddy, who I could, literally, at 26 years old, we were holding hands, jumping off the cliff, together on this journey, was gone, right? Not from a friendship perspective, but from a business perspective and a money perspective, and just encouragement, right? Like, hey, we're in this together. So realizing that, fear to me stands for false events appearing real, and being unafraid to fail. So I've failed in a lot of things. We've tried a lot of, whether it's a marketing, whether it's a management thing, whether it's, oh, we're going to create a pod system, or we're going to make this procedure. And then 6 months later go, that procedure sucks. Why the hell did we do that? Right. Or we made a poor hiring decision, but not being afraid to fail and learning from it, you know,
Mhm,
um, right? I've failed a lot, but the funny thing is, the outside, a lot of people don't think I've ever failed. It's like, no, I fucked up a bunch of things, but nothing is ever catastrophic. And there's so
mhm,
many people that have the wrong mindset, the conservative, ultra conservative mindset. Because I still think in some ways, like, I'm not reckless at all. I make calculated strategic decisions, but a lot of times they're wrong. And
mhm,
being unafraid to make it, and say, in our minds, we always go to we always think the worst will happen, and the worst has never happened, right? And every single time it's been, okay, well, that set us back 3 months, big deal. Or I invested a lot of time in that employee to coach and train that person and some money. Okay, well, money comes, money goes, and more importantly than that, what did I learn from it? How can
mhm.
I be better based on it? And that's, I think, where, look, I was a high school basketball coach for 10 years. I was a good athlete. We have that. A lot of people in the firm have that athletic mindset. So it's just, okay, what did I learn from this? You always learn more from the losses than the wins.
Mhm.
So I think that just, from a general answer, is so invaluable. I mean, and there's been so many things. I can't even give you one thing off the top of my head,
Okay.
but I mean, a lot of it has just been, look, a lot of it has been people related. We tried to train this person. We overlooked all of the major red flags that we saw because I thought that I could be a hero. And train this person and overcome their deficiencies or whatever. And so that's, in the people issue, that's why, we've changed our hiring process around. I'm barely involved because I have a tendency to think that I can turn anybody into an all-star, but also that's why we use the behavioral assessments, right? Especially culture index, which is, it's very highly validated. So it's pretty accurate. And we're hiring now for culture rather than skill. Especially over the last year, we've rejected very skilled candidates because they weren't going to fit into our culture. Culture is so important. Culture is way more important than skill. Skill can be taught to the right, for somebody who buys into the culture and has the right behavioral set. Obviously you need some level of baseline intelligence, but once you have that, you can teach skill. But if they're a bad culture fit, and it doesn't mean they're a bad person, right? It just means they're a bad culture fit for this position with us. They might be a great culture fit with a different, in a different role in a different law firm, right? I want to make sure that I'm very clear on that. And I truly believe that. But it's just for us, we know, our culture is everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I do have one more question. Do you have time for one more question?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, good. What is your current biggest frustration and why?
A lot of things frustrate me. It can change on a day-to-day or week-to-week basis.
Yeah.
I'm not really frustrated right now. Let's see. Our tech. So our tech's been a little frustrating. We are on Salesforce. The reason I chose Salesforce was because I wanted something that we could have, whether we were a $1 million, $10 million, or $50 million law firm. And a lot of the legal products, softwares that I tested just, weren't up to par. But with our tech stack, and especially something like Salesforce, you have to truly invest the time and the energy to have it run and have it run right, and to make sure that the policies and the procedures and the workflow, we have certain task workflows, and then to make sure that our employees are using, the system the way that we've designed. So really, it's more of an infrastructure issue rather than like a marketing or, issue or even people issue. It's just making sure that the infrastructure is there. And so but we're spending a lot of time and energy on it. But yeah, it's been a little frustrating.
Yeah, it is hard. It is hard because it changes so much too. Like even like with softwares, like you start using it and then suddenly there's an update and then now you need to train everybody again. And people are just so used to the old school way
Right.
that they forget to.
Well, and also, I mean, if we went on the generic, one of the, 10 different generic legal softwares, then it would probably be a little easier in the short term, but it would not be the right move for the long term. And everything that we're doing is for the long-term goals and visions. And that's where going back to the core values, the mission, the vision, all the stuff that we're doing through EOS helps us make decisions. So yeah, we have a little bit of bumpy road with some of that stuff right now, but I know it's going to pay off. And then we're not going to have to 3 years from now make another overhaul, another change. I mean, there'll be always little tweaks and changes, but we're not going to outgrow Salesforce.
Yeah. Makes sense. Okay, well, I think that's it. Thank you so much for sharing our insights. It was a great interview. I can tell that it was one of the best for sure I had so far. It was awesome talking to you, and I'm already a huge fan of yours. So yeah.
Yeah, well, we can look, I'm always down to collaborate in any way. This stuff is fun for me to talk about this stuff, my journey, because, I'm a podcast junkie, and, for all the different other people that I look up to and that I've become friends with over the years. So I love talking about this and my journey and see if I can meet people and help and, make connections, meet you, and then, have a little fun with it. So anything we're going to do with social media, just email me, let us know. We'll post and share and collaborate. And
All right. Thank you so much again, and have a great rest of the day, Adam.
all right, thanks. You too, Jessica. Take care.